Bangalore. Namaste. Welcome to Notable Talks, powered by Microsoft and co-presented by Value Prospect Consulting. I'm your host, Harsha Avasti. Notable Talks is a show where we host notable personalities from around the globe. Today, we have with us one such personality. I'm talking about Mr. Subu R, who is the Chief Executive Officer of Discover Dollar, an organization that helps enterprises to identify and resolve overpayments and leakages by analyzing a vast amount of data, including unstructured data like emails, contracts, using machine learning and artificial intelligence. So let's welcome him and let's know more about Discover Dollar. First of all, we have been waiting to ask you that what exactly Discover Dollar did to create a whopping $20 million impact on your customers' P&L. Seriously, without a doubt, that is revolutionary. Also, could you also tell us that more about the mission you have as Discover Dollar and how you enable organizations to achieve their business goals?
Thank you. So I'll start with a vision and a mission, and then I'll get into the exact question on how we impacted 20 million P&L for one of our customers, right? So Discover Dollar, as the name says, the vision is to discover value in terms of dollars. So what is dollars? Either directly impacting the bottom line or cash flows, harnessing AI and using data first as an approach, right? That's our larger vision. You have heard multiple times, probably in recent times, data is the new oil, right? So, and people tell if there is data, we can do a lot of stuff. And we live by all of these words in real sense. So we go to our customers and tell, hey, you just give your data and we will actually convert that into dollars, because there is a lot of actual value which is not being harnessed to the fullest potential just because they don't know how to use the data right now, right? I'm speaking at a very, very high 30,000 feet level right now. Let me go into a little more deeper. So what we specifically take as a data right now is on the procure to pay side of things for the large enterprises. So if you see, very large enterprises has a lot of suppliers, and with each suppliers, they have negotiations done for prices, promotions, discounts. All of that is done as they onboard, right? And if you see, all of these negotiations happen on emails, contracts, on phone calls, which are unstructured data. And what we have seen is, even if companies are making those deals and negotiation, not all information is available to all the teams, say the business, the finance, the accounting team, when they have to use it, because it's sitting in either in a huge amount of emails or hundreds of contracts signed. Every time making a payment, they cannot go and see that, right? So what we have done at Discover Dollar is build some proprietary natural language processing algorithms, which can scan through all these contracts, emails, negotiations, find what was the best price available, find what was the actual discount you could have got for that particular product or price or item, and ensure that you realize all of that every time without leaving any money on the table. And that's what happened with that customer you were asking earlier. How did we create that $20 million P&L impact? So in fact, that was a world's largest brewery company, AB InBev, who owns Budweiser, Hoegaarden, and even the Corona beer, right? So what happened with them was when we went and told, hey, we will help you recover overpayments and leakage, they did not believe us. They told, we have the best ERP systems, we have best consulting companies like McKinsey is helping on our processes. I don't think we have any leakage. This was the exact words they used, right? So we told, okay, we hear you. We will only come and give it a try, and you don't pay anything until we find you value, right? So, and when we were so confident, they were open to do that. The innovation team was open to do that with one of their business units in Europe. And in a matter of few weeks, we were able to find them $1 million they lost. And this happened on duplicate payments. Their systems were capturing some part of it, but not everything. It was a blind spot, which they did not know. It was duplicate payments, it was volume discounts, it was cash discounts missed, which they were actually eligible for. But this information was sitting in information which they were not even considering, because it was 10,000 plus documents they had to verify to get here. But $1 million in few weeks was exciting. So obviously they wanted to scale it up to multiple zones, multiple business units across. We worked across Africa, India, multiple zones, North America. So, and in the pandemic, we were able to save them $20 million of P&L impact. And there is a YouTube video. I shouldn't be speaking about it. My customer should be speaking, right? So you can go and see that, where AB InBev was speaking about that possibility and how we were able to bring that money to them, right? So yeah, that's the story behind it. It was a little longer, sorry, but it needed this explanation.
So it is estimated that up to 5% of earnings before interest, taxes, and amortization, which is also called EBITDA, flows out without being noticed by companies. With your company's experience and insights of discovering over $419 million in overpayment and leakages, could you also share some reasons why companies fail to identify their leakages and how Discover Dollar steps in for this prevention?
Yeah, so a very important and right question, I can say. So if you see this, whatever you quoted, that 5% of EBITDA is lost by companies potentially without even knowing, is quoted by EY, one of the global leaders in the consulting and financial practices, right? So first is that this is a blind spot for most of the companies. So if you go and ask most of the finance leaders, they wouldn't even know many a times. There are few companies who knows, but very, very less. I can say out of every 10 conversations we do, 1 or 2 people agree that they have this potential leakage. To answer this, I would give you an analogy of a blind spot, right? So if you drive a car, you know that you have a rear view mirror so that you can see your rear side what's happening. But it doesn't mean if you have a rear view mirror, everything is visible. There is a blind spot in the car as well, which people don't know. So as a good driver will know there is a blind spot. An average driver or a bad driver would think he's having all visibility. So he may, if he thinks he can maneuver everything, he's not seeing anything in the rear, right? So it's the same thing here as well. So that many people don't even know that there is a potential blind spot just because they have a ERP system, which is a state of the art, or if they have processes which are vetted by the global consulting firm. Doesn't mean that everything is sorted. No company is 100% error proof, right? And why specifically they missed this piece is how this whole journey started. Everything was manual earlier. So when everything was manual, people had no expectation that, okay, minimum this much has to be done, right? So there was never an expectation to be having 100% accuracy. If you go to the payment or the accounts payable team, so 99 or 99.5% accuracy is an accepted standard in the world. So 99.5 became the new 100%, or that's like the right thing. So but even if 99.5% accuracy, that means you have 0.5% error rate. For $1 billion company, 0.5% error rate can mean $5 million lost, right? Which people were not seeing it earlier because there were no technologies, or it was impossible to go to that hyper efficiency mode. But with the new technologies coming in, there is a whole realm of things possible, but not everybody is yet there, right? So people still live in the old world sometimes. What we try to show and create awareness to people is that, hey, there is a possibility to scan through all your data, all your documents without manual intervention. For example, with one of the companies recently, in last month, we were able to scan 30 million documents in a matter of 1 month, which is impossible humanly, right? So it was possible only because we are using technology to do that. And out of that 30 million negotiation, that is emails, contracts, everything, 600 of conversations were missed to be, there was a negotiated price or a deal or rates, but they did not consider it. So that 600 conversations, 612 if I have to be exact, 612 conversation out of 30 million were missed to be considered. But that 612 total to some close to $15 million lost for that customer. So you can understand how it's a finding the needle from haystack, which is not possible earlier. Now it is possible. So that's how the whole journey, I can say, for us. And we are constantly in the journey to make finance leaders aware of this. And that's why we offer a success-based model to our customers now, where we say, hey, you don't pay us anything until we find you value, right? So that's been something we believe as a strongly as a company, and it's something which customers are also now able to open up and see, hey, let me do a check on my data, my controls, my systems. Are we having some blind spots which we don't know as yet, right? Yeah, that's good.
Today, more companies are realizing the importance of adopting digital transformation and are implementing artificial intelligence in their workplace. First, we would like to know what digital transformation means from a finance technology perspective, and what makes your AI-driven Discover Dollar platform so powerful that makes global leading firms such as SAP, Target, and Spencer's choose Discover Dollar over the fintech companies?
So there are two parts into the question, right? The digital transformation. So if I have to speak about the digital transformation, what we have seen is a lot of companies are in a different spectrum of digitization process. We have seen companies still being very manual, paper-based things, to companies who are even trying blockchain, right? Which is the other spectrum of financial transformation. But it's very important you move from paper to basic digitization. When you do that, it enables companies to a next facet of possibilities. For example, Discover Dollar can work only if there is certain amount of digitization possible, right? We have had customers who told, hey, we want to work with you, but we have all our data sitting in a paper documents. Can you help us do that? We told, I'm sorry, we can't do it because we can't do scan of manual data, right? So as long as you have a scan copy of that at least, or if you have a digital copies of that, is when our solution can sit on top of the existing digital framework what you have, and we can create value from that data. So having said that, we have also seen companies where they want to explore blockchain and other possible new age digital technologies along with us. That's what, there is a huge wide variety of spectrum, but it's the best time I can say in terms of what's the transformations are happening, and pandemic has just accelerated that. Coming to the second part of the question on why companies are choosing the Discover Dollar over others, I would say Discover Dollar is quite unique in terms of concept. I can say we are pioneers in the world in the way how the business model has been created. Second, we are not exactly competing with other companies. We complement most of the digital transformation solutions, right? For example, we work with, when we worked with ABN, the earlier company which we were speaking about, there was Deloitte who was doing the digital transformation journey for their regular process. But we were able to come in and help was, when you do a digital transformation, there can be potential change, which can lead to process change, confusions, which can lead to financial loss as well. We were able to ensure that doesn't happen. When you're going through a financial transformation, when you're going through a mergers, when you're going through a system change, there is a potential increase of leakage possible. But having companies like Discover Dollar was ensuring that they are minimizing those losses and ensuring that transformation happens. On the other side, what you can also see is, if you want to, like, for a company which has not even gone through the financial transformation, the digitization, RPA kind of a solutions, they can see if they not doing it, what's the cost of not doing it, what's the financial losses they may lead to, working with company like Discover Dollar will help them to see how much money they are leaving on the table by not being efficient, right? That's primary ways why companies are coming to us. And SAP gave us a most innovative solution award in Orlando, Florida, in their flagship event, mainly because we were perfectly complementing their solution of the ERP. They could see that SAP was needing this natural extension what Discover Dollar is bringing, because their ERP starts from the structured data, whereas we were an extension which would connect unstructured data from different sources, which will feed the ERP system, which becomes all the more powerful because of our solution, right? Yeah.
So, as the business landscape is rapidly changing and getting more complex, it is crucial for organizations to keep adapting to these changes. As an industry leader and founder at Discover Dollar, what do you think are the key challenges faced by the organization if we talk about today in 2022 in regards to financial management? And what would be a roadmap to overcome those painful areas?
Yeah. So the amount of change which is coming is not like anymore like a light breeze, right? It is the huge winds of change are happening in a big way. So it's no more an option for organizations now to make change. It is a must. Like if all of the organizations are now knowing that they have to make this change, otherwise they will perish. Having said that, uh, the biggest challenge around this for enterprises is what changes to make first and what's the priorities to be built over. So I would say start with building a strong foundation and finding those pain areas and the bottlenecks. And that is one of the areas Discover Dollar can be of help to find where your bottlenecks or where your blind spots are and bring those issues to the forefront, so it becomes part of your financial roadmap or the digital roadmap what we want to build for the enterprise. Some of the obvious problems what we see is there is no proper data management happening. Speaking specifically on the source to pay side of things, the processes are not optimized. There is very less digital footprints in terms of how the whole flow happens from the start of the process of sourcing the vendor to the negotiations till the procurement and the payment, right? So in this journey, we have seen a significant overhaul is possible on the customer side, even from the conversation with the customer to the sale happening and the contract renewals to the collections. There are significant changes possible as well. So these are some areas where there are pain points, which is primarily happening because of lack of digital footprints, which can be addressed. One of the examples, if I have to bring out, we work with many large enterprises, and these are some of the companies who were early to attempt a digital transformation enterprise-wide, right? So when they were in the journey of doing a digital enterprise change, we happened to be having conversation with them, and for them, it was important to figure out what are the priorities and through the landscape. So as we work with them in their journey, we were able to identify potential blind spots, potential opportunity areas, and most importantly, the priority sectors or the priority segments which they should immediately work on. That became the exercise. What we did was helping them to find what are the roadmap which they can set for coming years and how they can go about achieving their digital transformation journey. So we work with a lot of companies as these are Fortune 500 companies. These were one of the first ones to attempt even a digital transformation journey, right? So if I have to take a couple of examples, say with AB InBev, when they were going through this journey, because they happened to work with us, they were not sure should they go and invest in their procurement and the P2P, source to pay part of the journey. And when we went and we were able to show them the value in the form of how much money they are leaving on the table, because they didn't have a contract management system, an efficient source to pay, digital footprints. It helped them to build that journey as a part of their roadmap and accelerate that. Another one which I have to give you as an example was in Target, which is one of the largest automotive, discount retail in the world. They had they did not have an open APIs available for the third-party data to consume. But when they built that for working with Discover Dollar, that was one of the biggest jump in terms of frictionless way of working with the third-party vendors, which enabled them to take their journey much ahead. And they happen to be one of the leading company right now who are integrating with the tech stack has been integrating with many third parties products as well. So these were some of the journeys I can say where we can help companies to improve their digital footprint and have a good digital roadmap as well.
With more buzz around the metaverse and adoption of cryptocurrencies across organizations, how do you see the management at financial levels getting impacted, and how does the future look like?
Yeah, these are the buzzwords which are very much taking the market by this way, right? So I would say metaverse is still evolving. I don't know in the financial world how it is going to impact, but definitely enterprises like Microsoft, Facebook are all coming to find a way to even make the enterprises work in the metaverse. That's very exciting. It will open up different facets from the enterprise side. On the consumer side, metaverse is definitely going to be building an alternate world where we all can have another phase of ourselves, right? So that's going to create a huge amount of e-commerce, which has to be supported by the new financial systems. Having said that, it's coming to the cryptocurrencies. I'm a big believer in blockchain. So the cryptos are one of the forms of that. I would say enterprises eventually have to get into blockchain, and we are also working on some use cases around that, especially for having a seamless interaction between one enterprise and their suppliers or customers. So those use cases are going to be very exciting as we go, and excited to see who all of our customers want to do that and how we can enable them be future ready as well.
So let's begin the rapid fire. I would ask you a question, and whatever first word comes to your mind, you can just say that. Okay, it has to be quick, rapid, of course. So one word that comes to your mind when I say digital transformation.
Future.
When I say skills.
Must have. Maybe 2 words, yeah.
Movies.
Fun.
Unified communications.
Microsoft Teams.
Yourself.
Embrace the discomfort.
Good. And something you wish you knew earlier in your life.
Just don't focus on building an amazing product. I assumed people will come to you immediately, but if once you solve automatically, which never happens. So you need to equally take the product to the customers, communicate, show them how it will solve. Learn the art of taking it to the market.
Okay. Your role model.
Elon Musk.
And most productive time of your day.
Early mornings.
One app on your mobile phone which is a complete lifesaver.
Google Maps.
I'm with you. Your success mantra or formula in one line.
Believe in what you do and persevere for a longer period than what you initially planned for.
Yeah, great. So actually, Subu, these were all the questions I had in mind for today and this Notable Talks. But thank you so very much for giving us the precious time. I know it was a little difficult for you, but thank you so very much. And I think there's so many people who are watching or who are listening us right now would be really happy with what they have got to know about so many things around this Notable Talk. So thank you so very much for your time. So this is it for this Notable Talks, which was powered by Microsoft and co-presented by Value Prospect Consulting. And we would be back with another Notable Talk very soon, which is powered by Microsoft.